Howdy y'all, welcome back. Today we'll be continuing Will, A Wonderful World, the game where we have to rewrite and change stories of the people that send metaphysical letters to us so we can help them out and try to get them the happiest ending as we possibly can for every single one of these people, even if they seem to be in conflict. So last time we left off getting to know a good number of the cast that we'll be following around. There's some other people that we haven't met yet. And yeah, seems real fun so far. So let us get started. Oh, let's turn on the desktop all just so you can hear. Okay. Okay, y'all should be able to hear now. Yes, let's continue from this. Okay. Yeah, we have one guy over here who is still unknown. Any messages? Okay. Well, let's say hello to him. And it's connected to Lee Wen's story. Oh, hold on. Since this game is on full screen, I need to open up the chat on my phone so I can still read the chat. So hold on just 1 second. Okay, I can see the chat now. Howdy, Gabriella. Oop. My phone's on. Okay. Howdy, Gabriella. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Yes. I want to start with Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy. Hi, my name is Jimmy. Today was my first day at Yingnan High School as a senior. I flew from Hong Kong to Beijing a few days ago. On my first night, my suitcase, which held my laptop, still hadn't arrived at the hotel. I was bored out of my mind and decided to go down to the arcade to kill some time. There, I saw a girl with long hair. She had come into the arcade with a basket of tennis balls and was sweating from head to toe. She wanted to get the Saraswati doll from the claw machine. I wanted to get it too, but earlier there had been a couple hogging the machine for a long time. Throughout my childhood, my father would always buy me anything I wanted. It was usually Game Boys, computers, and stuff like that, nothing outrageous. Hello, Okapi Flower, welcome as well. How are you doing today? And I didn't know that male sheep are called rams, which I am. And then you is a female lamb. I didn't know that. Or female sheep, not a lamb. I think rams and ewes have to be adults. I think so. I don't think they can be child sheep. So I never really understood the feeling of wanting something so badly but not being able to get it. I looked at her from a distance. I watched her fail and keep trying over and over again. Her expression looked so funny and so cute. I felt a strange urge. I had gone to an all-boys school in Hong Kong, and I also wasn't someone who liked to go out that much. I never really met very many girls, and I had never learned how to pick up girls. But today felt different. I she was extremely cute, and I had a special feeling about her that I didn't really understand myself. I didn't want to miss the chance of getting to know her. I mustered all of my courage and decided to get her attention. I wrote down my email address on a piece of paper, and I bought a drink and quietly left the cup on the counter of the claw machine with the note under the cup. Now, I just need to wait for her response. The first night, I didn't get an email. It must have been too late. She'll write me back the next day, I thought. The second day, all I got was junk mail. I mean, who would, who would randomly, if you got an email, an unknown email with a drink someone paid for you, apparently, from a mysterious person, I mean, I'd be a little hesitant to email that email. I'd be a little hesitant. I don't even know if I would drink the drink, to be honest. It could have been, well, if I got it straight from the bartender, I might drink it. From the barista. But if it's just left there, just left on a table, I think that's like he just left it by the claw machine with the email. I don't know if I would even drink the drink. Not to mention respond to an email. I don't know. Yeah, he has a nice silhouette. He's very cool. He's very cool looking. Okay, I read that already. The third day, oh, that was cute. That was a cute little combo. I skipped over it though. Maybe she had lost snow by accident. Maybe she washed in her laundry. Maybe I can find out what her email address was instead. Excuse me? All I need to do was hack into the cashier system of the arcade. I could get information on all the customers who had paid for tickets using mobile banking. I could get more than just their email addresses, like their real addresses and bank accounts. This kind of sounds like a stalker, So I did it. I mustered all my courage once again and wrote her an email. Yet, oh, that's cute though. Maybe she didn't really use her email. I had told my father I wanted to transfer to the school. Did he wait a second, did he transfer to the school because he found out that she went to the school and he wants to be at the same school as her? He's dedicated, and I'm scared a little bit of that. I'm sure he's a good guy, but still, I'm still nervous. It didn't really matter to him, and the school happened to be quite good too, so he agreed almost immediately. If he had known the truth, he would have slapped me in the face and called me a disgrace. Oh, I love how that rhymes. I also found out that she I also found that she liked playing tennis. So of course, I bought myself a racket. Immediately. I even finished reading all 42 volumes of the manga series The Kid of Tennis. Wow. The Kid of Tennis is a Japanese anime comedy series centered around tennis playing teenagers. The series received wide acclaim as soon as it debuted in Japan and also broke many rating records in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and other Southeast Asian countries. The hero of the series, Kido no Raku, grows up in an extremely wealthy family, yet he has never had any luck with the girls in his school as he is too introverted. However, his life changes forever when one of his high school classmates and a girl in his dream, Mizukawa Ryoko, casually asks him, "Do you like tennis?" He makes up his mind and joins the school tennis team to become a great tennis player so he could impress her and win her over. The unique art style and positive spirit of the series have influenced generations of young people, and the series has become a classic. Many kids have grown up idolizing Kido no Raku, thinking that they could attract the attentions of their secret crushes by becoming good at tennis. I don't think it was tennis itself. I mean, I think it was the fact that the girls seemed interested in tennis. More importantly, the vast majority of them eventually learn an invaluable lesson that everything in the anime series is simply a lie. Let them dream though. Let them engage in their fantasies. Hold on, I'm gonna look up if that's real. I've heard of the Prince of Tennis. I've never heard of the Kid of Tennis. Okay. Let me look up the Prince of Tennis and see what that's about. Okay, the Prince of Tennis doesn't really seem to have the same storyline. So I'm guessing they made this up. Kido no Daku. Okay, it's not real. But I would never thought I would get the chance to partner with her in a doubles match on my first day at the new school. And also I never realized that, well, everything in the manga was a lie. The only time I even touched the ball, it hit the referee. Oh crap, I suck so bad. She must hate me now. Or you could use it as an excuse to ask her to tutor you. You know, to give you private lessons in tennis, and you can get to know her outside of class. If you seem to be an earnest guy. We ended up in a tiebreaker for the match. I read about this. We ended up in a tiebreaker for the match. I had read about this in the manga. Basically, it was a quick way to decide the winner when both sides had been evenly matched. If it wasn't for me, she would have won easily. The ball was coming again. It was a fast one, and it was flying towards my right side. I was so nervous, my right hand was shaking uncontrollably. I tried my best to hold the racket as steady as I could. I took a step to the right. I rushed forward. I took a step to the right almost out of instinct, but I still let the ball pass. Even if I tried to hit the ball, it would never go in. From behind me, I heard her hitting the ball. Good job! But before I could finish my thought, I felt a sudden shock of numbness and pain from the back of my head. I completely blacked out. I was in the infirmary when I woke up. It was already noon. I looked around. There was no one else in the room but the school nurse. Oh, Jimmy, what did you think was gonna happen? Jimmy. Oh, that's it? Okay. Next letter. My new partner. This problem was so difficult. I stared at the test and it looked like some kind of ancient curse tortured my fragile mind. A box of chocolate milk suddenly appeared on my desk. My favorite. I opened it up and started drinking it. It was delicious. Li Wen, what are you doing during an exam? Oh, that was a miss. Oops. Li Wen, what are you doing during an exam? Thud. Mrs. Yang pounded her fist on my desk. My eyes went wide. There was no test. No Mrs. Yang. Not even my favorite drink, chocolate milk. I was lying in my own bed, wearing the t-shirt I put on for tennis last night. How had I fallen asleep like this? Suddenly, I remembered that I found some strange things on my door last night. I carefully opened the door and looked outside. There was nothing. Was it all just a dream? In any case, what time is it? I checked the clock on the wall. It was 9:10. I rushed to school as fast as possible. The second period had just begun. It was tennis class today. Our school was famous for its emphasis on the so-called quality education, which meant that unlike other schools, we had classes and stuff like tennis, art, and so on, even for senior students, so I can get some exercise and release some of the stress from schoolwork. Not many seniors enrolled in these classes, though. Everyone had bet their whole lives on the upcoming Gaokao, the National Higher Entrance Exam National Higher Education Entrance Examination. Gaokao, aka the National Higher Education Entrance Exam, is an annually held national exam in mainland China. All high school seniors and other people at similar academic levels take the exam as an entrance selection process for higher education institutions. The exams are held every year from June 7th to June 9th, typically including 3 mandatory subjects: literature, math, and English, along with another choice between liberal arts, civics, history, and geography, and engineering science, physics, chemistry, and biology. The modern Gaokao was first held in 1977 with 5.7 million participants and a 5% acceptance rate. By 2017, the total number of participants has increased to 9.4 million, and the acceptance rate is 85%. Nevertheless, it is still very hard to be admitted into the top universities. In Chinese culture, going to a good college could change one's fate. While not entirely correct, it still dominates the mind of numerous students and their parents. In order to get better grades, even when sick, sometimes there are reports of people who keep studying with an IV attached. Goodness gracious. Many top high schools in each individual province have also been known to come up with extraordinary strategies in order to send their students into the top 2 universities in China. For instance, Hengshui High School in Hebei Province is infamous for its military-style school administration, and is the most well-known super school, Gaokao Sweat Factory, in China, after the fall of its predecessor, Huanggang High School of Hubei Province. Is Gaokao real? I know they have entrance exams like that stuff in East Asia. Is that real? Okay, Gaokao is a real test. Gaokao. I just saw the tone mark, so now I can say it with the right tone. Interesting. Oof. That's one thing I'm kind of glad about. Not living in East Asia is the fact that my whole life, doesn't revolve around passing an entrance exam. That I've heard all kinds of stuff about East Asian entrance exam stuff and how that really filters people's future careers, whether they go into university or go into the workforce. And I'm like, goodness gracious. However, I still had no idea what I wanted to do in the future, nor what major I wanted to be in. I was interested in. I suppose I would just go with the flow. I carried the racket under my arm and ran into the tennis court. Usually I would just do some hitting practice during the class, but today I was here with a purpose. Last time, I had accidentally hit that knucklehead Rocky from class 3 when I had been practicing my swerve. He insisted that I had done it on purpose and challenged me to a match to settle the score. What kind of obsessive, obnoxious man was this? Well, today was the day of our duel. I had agreed to his proposal with 30 boxes of chocolate milk as the wager. My favorite. We would play a doubles match for 1 set, and we got to pick a partner for the opponent. I put Wang Cheng as Rocky's partner first. He was probably the weakest out of all the people present today. My darling chocolate milk, here I come. Rocky pointed to someone behind me. I'm guessing this is Jimmy. You'll partner with him then. I turned around and I saw someone who was looking petrified. Someone whom I had never even met. The stranger introduced himself as Jimmy. He just said he transferred from Hong Kong today. Huh. A transfer student in the last semester of senior year? And from Hong Kong, no less? That was peculiar. Never mind. I need to win my chocolate milk first. Since he had enrolled in the class, he could be really good. Maybe this will be my lucky day. Just 1 game later, I realized I'd been kidding myself. That sneaky Rocky. He must have known this guy didn't know how to play at all. Wan Chan might only be 2.0, but that would make Jimmy a 0.2. He barely even knew how to hold a racket. Sigh. No matter. For our precious chocolate milk, I would have to do it alone. Half an hour later, we're at the tiebreaker. First day of school, complete 25% of the dictionary. Okay. We are already a quarter through the dictionary. A tiebreak is a scoring system in tennis. 12-point tiebreak game is played when a set is 6-6. In the additional game, points are counted using ordinary numbering. The player who reaches at least 7 points, but also has 2 points more than the opponent, wins the game and the set. I kind of vaguely know this concept from playing Wii Sports. The score was 7-8. Their match point. Match point. 15 love. You know, I'm just the Wii Sports sound effects are coming to my mind now. Match point. If I could win this next point, I still had a chance. Otherwise, I would have to buy the chocolate milk myself at 7-Eleven. I was standing on the right side at the back. My hat was soaking wet, and sweat was dripping down my ponytail into my shirt. Jimmy was standing on the left side at the net, and I could see he was sweating through the back of his shirt too. Here came the ball. It was aimed at the center of the backcourt to my left. I squeezed the racket in my hand. A sudden twist in my ankle. Swing! I fell to the ground and completely mishit the ball. Even worse, it went straight to the back of Jimmy's head. Jimmy fainted. Oh no, did I just give him a concussion? But I clearly remembered that he was standing much further left, wasn't he? Li Wen. Okay, well, let's start. Okay, this don't seem too hard. So I rushed forward, swing, and then we could have. I took a step to the right, a sudden twist in my ankle. So Jimmy twists his ankle and falls, while she rushes forward and swings the. Okay, I think this is the right answer, but I kind of want to see how it'd be like if. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I was like, let's have him take the winning shot and have her twist the ankle, and then if he wins the match for her, she can get her chocolate milk, and that might put him in her good graces and start a relationship. Okay, so I'm gonna put that over here. I was originally gonna put it on that side, but let's see how this is. Uh-oh. Hold on. I don't like the fact that he swung his racket with his eyes closed. I swung my racket with my eyes closed. The ball flew over the baseline. I was out. Okay, well, this is not what I had in mind. Sigh. I did overestimate myself. Oh. Oh, it's okay, Jimmy. And the match was over. Ah, she must be mad at me now. Jimmy took a swing at the ball. The ball flew at the baseline. Out. 7-9. We lost. I lost. My precious 30 boxes of chocolate milk. Okay, well, I tried, Jimmy. But I guess you have to have natural ability, which you don't. So, let's have a win. You can twist your ankle and let her take over. Wait, hello. Wait. Even worse, the ball went straight into the back of Jimmy's head. Jimmy passed. How did you still? Wait. Jimmy passed out. Oh no. Did I just give him a concussion? But I clearly remember that he was standing much further left, wasn't he? Okay. So she still made a mistake? So I'm guessing he can't step to the right, I guess? Okay, so maybe since the ball was aimed at the center, maybe she's supposed to step to her right so she can get to the center and then rush forward and then swing, and then he just twists his ankle. Okay, we'll try that. The ball flew past me. I expected to hear her hitting the ball, but I heard nothing. I turned around and saw her sitting on the ground, hunched over. Did she just get hit by the ball? People were already gathering around. Someone mentioned the infirmary. How did she get hurt? I'm so confused. I suppose someone would take her there any moment now. Honestly, I wish that someone could be me. Our teacher walked over. Okay, maybe this is good though. Since he gets to take it to the infirmary, maybe this might be good. This might be good for him, but not for her. Yeah. Maybe it's not good for her, so it's still not the ideal situation. You! Take her to the infirmary! Oh, is it he? You! Take her to the infirmary! Wait, was he speaking to me? Oh my gosh! The goddess of fortune must have really heard my wish! Oh, the ball was to her left. Oops. Okay. Oopsie. My bad. The ball was to my left, but I was stumbling to my right. Not only did I not hit the ball, I even lost my racket. And for some reason, my stomach started hurting. Why? Was it because I hadn't had time for breakfast this morning? 7 to 9. We lost. I lost. I took 2 pills in the infirmary and felt a little better. I lay down on the bed. Everything around me was white and made me feel sleepy. Jimmy said he wanted to keep me company, so he was sitting beside my bed. I thought maybe I should talk to him a little, so that I would feel less awkward. However, I think I was too exhausted and fell asleep. Yeah, okay, I thought it would give him a rank A, but this is bad for her. Okay. I ain't gonna try a hint yet. How do I? Okay, so it's on her. I feel like if I put this over here in a place, he's gonna get hit. So maybe I should put this after swing. I took a swing at the ball, but I almost tripped. I had to take another step to stop myself from falling over. Okay, this seems good. The tennis ball flew over the net, kissed the baseline, compressed, and bounced up. Then it was stuck in the wired fence around the court. Yay! Match point saved! Rocky was such a sneaky bastard. With Jimmy barely able to move, he was now aiming at every ball at him. But Jimmy was able to get out of my way almost every time, even with a twisted ankle. We were coordinating surprisingly well. Okay, I got it at the end, finally. After a while, Wang Chan was left standing there too. The game had become a singles match between Rocky and me. Maybe Jimmy was a lucky charm, because we eventually won the game 15-13. What a great partner! I won my chocolate milk. Hooray! I fell to the ground and my ankle hurt like hell. Fortunately, we still won the point thanks to her. Now our opponents were hitting the ball towards me almost exclusively, but Levi was too good. And eventually we won. Aw, look at them. More importantly, she ran over and high-fived me. Oh. I wasn't just daydreaming about this. She really did just give me a high five. Her hand felt so warm. I would never forget that moment. Oh, look at you. Right? The kitty cat. He's so cute. Oh, he's so cute. Hobbies. Video games, manga, anime, programming technology, religion, goddess of fortune. At 18, transferred from Hong Kong to Yingnan High School in a senior year. Okay. Okay. New letters. What does this mean? Why does it split like that? Could this have gone a different way? That's interesting.
Dios, ¿qué debería hacer? Dios, ¿qué debería hacer?
Okay, I understood that, right? He said, God. Wait.
Dios, ¿qué debería hacer?
Yeah, God, what should I do, right? That's what he said in Spanish, right? Dios, ¿qué debería hacer? What should I do? God, what should I do? Okay. Okay, well, this is interesting though. And how come there's no how come there's no little dot line? Does this stop some way? Okay, well, let's see. I really need to be practicing my Spanish some more since I'm going to South America next month. I wanna use it a little bit and understand what people are saying, so I need to practice a little bit on my own. My mother had always complained that I never exercised. She'd always say that if I ever needed to run away from bad guys, I would be dead in just a few steps. There were not that many bad guys in the world. I love the cow emoji that he uses. It's so cute. Besides, even if there were, I think I could just stay in my room and not go outside. It's the information era after all. As long as I get information online, I can play with the real world in the palm of my hand. Yet, even though I managed to dodge all of my recruiting activities for the school sports meet, my roommate totally ruined my perfect plan. Today was the all-school sports meet. I thought I could have made up an excuse, like a foot injury, so that I wouldn't have to sit under a tree, and I could just stay in my room and play on my computer. But Rocky signed me up for the 4x400 relay race without me even knowing about it, and now I had to stand under the scorching sun. Is Rocky his bully or is a friend? Like, I'm so. How did he sign him up and he has to do it? 400 meters. Okay. I need to translate that for my American self. 400 meters equals. Oh, it's like a quarter of a mile. Okay. Quarter of a mile. I mean, I guess you're running. You're not walking, you're running. So I don't know. Maybe that might be a lot. But madness. The last time I had been in a race was the last time I had been in a race, I was still in elementary school. I hadn't even hit puberty. I thought I might die on the track today. Oh. The gun went off. I took it from his hand. I never knew that Rocky was so fast. Our team was actually in first place during his third leg run. Still, why was I the final leg? What were people thinking? There was nothing else I could do but run like my life depended on it. The people along the tracks are cheering for me. I couldn't really tell who they were, but this felt pretty great. I was only 50 meters from the finish line, and no one had caught up with me yet. Oh wow, okay. I must have underestimated myself. Look at me, Mom. Your son's about to win a race. Oh, he's so cute. I looked straight ahead to the finish line. Then I saw her. I saw my crush. Oh no. Don't distract me at such a moment. It was too late. I only lost my focus for just a second, and the tip of my foot tripped over a bump on the track. My entire body left the ground, and then my face smashed into the ground. By the time I got back up, the other teams had all run past the finish line. Oh no! Jimmy. Next letter. Mr. Kwan. Mr. Kwan? Is that his name? I thought his name was Carlos. Oh, no. Mr. Kwan is the name of the letter. Okay. Like, wait, I'm confused. Okay, that's the name of this letter. Although I had just suffered a fire, the Pitt Street 99 was still open for business. It was a small and old building. The walls were covered in flyers and graffiti. I looked through the main gate and saw a narrow staircase. There was also a small desk at the bottom of the stairs. Facing the entrance, a man with spiky hair was sitting behind the desk with his legs crossed. He put down the magazine, which had a woman with big breasts on the cover, and asked me what I was doing there. I told him that the man in a long black trench coat had told me to come here. Trench coat? Trench coat? Everyone here wears a trench coat. I'm telling you, this is not some place you can just walk in. You better get out of here before I stab you with a knife. Spiky hair picked up the magazine again. I tried to recall what the guy looked like. White shirt, grey vest, short black hair that was combed to the back. He also had a big guy in a black suit with a scarred face by his side. A scarred face? Mr. Tough? Hold on. Does the guy you're talking about have his right hand? Spiky hair put down the magazine in his legs, leaned toward me and asked quietly, right hand? I couldn't remember exactly, but I did remember that he picked up my phone with his left hand. He shouted upstairs. Mr. Kwan, the guy you've been waiting for is here. I looked at the staircase with anticipation. However, the man who came down was not the one I had met. He was wearing a leather jacket and a pair of sunglasses. He had high cheekbones and looked much older. He took me by the way to the suburb on the back of his motorcycle. Mr. Kwan spoke very fluent English. He told me that the building that we had just been in was the headquarters of the Black Dragon Gang, the biggest gang in Hong Kong. And that person who just told me to come was the second in command of the gang. He had instructed Mr. Kwan to induct me as a pledge. A pledge was a potential candidate to join the gang. But before officially admitting me, Mr. Kwan had to make sure I was qualified. Don't join a gang! What the heck? What the heck is going on? Mr. Kwan put a gun in my hand. I was stunned. Please, like, this is not what you wanted. You just wanted to come here and find your sister, right? You don't have to do it. If you're not willing to do this, we can leave right now. You'll just pretend that you never met me. Mr. Kwan took a small metal box out of his pocket and threw a piece of gum in his mouth. No, I'll do it. I couldn't let go of any chance to find Alicia. Besides, I had a brilliant idea. I went into the convenience store nearby. Most of the goods in the shelf seemed to be used goods. Most of them were covered in a thick layer of dust. The owner looked like he was over 60. He was reading a book behind the counter. You gonna shoot him? What the heck is going on right now? It was just the two of us in the store. I walked up to the counter, smashed my left hand down on it, lifted the gun with my right hand, and pointed at his head. I yelled in my meanest voice, "Give me all your money, or I'm gonna blow your head open." Then I whispered to the old man about what was going on, making sure that Mr. Kwan wouldn't be able to hear me. Okay. I was so nervous, even though I had no intention of robbing him for real. I handed him what was in my hand. "Please." The owner put his book down and looked at me pleadingly. "We need the money here on my wife's hospital bill. I can't give it to you. Everything in this shop, if you like, it's all yours. All yours. Please, please." Apparently, he had only heard my threats, not my whispers. Tears rolled down my face. I must have lost my mind to be robbing a poor old man like this. Even if it was all fake, I should have never have done this. I handed the gun to the owner and loudly told him why I was there and what I had been through. To my utter surprise, after hearing my story, the owner offered to help me ask about my sister, and even asked if I'd be willing to stay here and help him out in the store. He said I was welcome to stay as long as I didn't mind a little wage he could afford. I gave the old man a huge hug. Outside the store, Mr. Kwan had already left. I would never see him again. I started working at the store. Okay, well, this seems to be going fine. Okay, he got a job. I started working at the store while looking for information about Alicia. Days went by, but I still hadn't heard anything. Lord, what should I do to find my sister? Should I have joined the gang instead? Carlos. Okay. Oh, interesting. In these two letters, there are some special restrictions. Special restrictions? Yes. Remember I told you how the white pieces could be moved anywhere? Except past the first and last pieces in the letters, of course. Yes, I do remember. When the special restrictions are in place, that will no longer be the case. If you put "I handed him" and "I caught it from" both on the left side, then the former has to happen after the latter, because you can't hand the baton over and then have it back again. Furthermore, if you put "the gun went off" piece on the left side too, it has to happen before the match begins. So there's another sequence restriction on the pieces. All sequence restrictions are labeled by a number. The pieces with the smaller number cannot be placed after the pieces with the larger numbers. Since the aforementioned restrictions only apply to the left side, there's a straight vertical line in the middle of the red diamond. And the number is marked on the left side of the line. Oh boy, now I'm completely lost. That's not all. In addition to the sequence, there are also special restrictions to this conflict. We'll deal with that when we see it. For now, you just need to remember that all the pieces with the special restrictions will be labeled with a red sign like this on the right side. Okay then. I'll try my best to remember them. Okay, so that means we can do whatever we want to on that side, but on this side, yeah, you can't do it like that. Okay, I see. Oh yeah, hold on. I need to reread. What did he take from his hand? You took the gun from his hand, or did you take something else? Hmm. What I don't understand is, oh, okay, I see now. I was like, how does this fix his problem? His problem was that he got distracted at the end of the race and lost. But if I say I handed him what was in my hand, that means that he is earlier in the relay. He's not he ain't at the end of the relay. And that's what he wanted that's what he wanted in the first place. He wanted to be at the beginning of the relay. But that's kind of sad though. He was doing real well before he saw that girl, his crush, Lee Wen. So it's like I wish we could have changed it so that he finishes the relay, but he isn't distracted. But I guess that's what they want to do. Okay, well, let's try this. I think this is what we're supposed to do. I finally handed the baton off to the next leg. If I had to take one more step, I was going to throw up blood and die right there. Right then. Our team was in second place. It was all up to Rocky now. Rocky soon finished the first 2,000 meters, but something didn't seem right. Uh-oh. Had he eaten something bad today? In the end, not only did Rocky fail to pass Class 2, he was eventually passed by Class 4, 10 meters away from the finish line. Sigh, that sucked. Although, being part of this actually felt pretty great. Okay, well, that was bad. I'm guessing that he is supposed to be the last leg of the race. So, I'm glad about that. I guess there's another way we can fix that. The owner was so frightened that he was shaking. He immediately took a few large bills out of the drawer and handed them to me. Apparently, he had only heard my threats, not my whispers. Looking upon the 60-year-old man with an ailing wife at home, crying and begging me to spare his life, I could barely hold the tears myself. Mr. Kwan took the money from my hand with a satisfied look on his face. I was admitted into the Black Dragon gang. A few days later in the evening, I took a motorcycle from someone in the group and came back to the store. I stuffed all the money I had borrowed from the past few days under the rolling door of the store. Sorry and thank you, Mr. Owner. Okay, this was good for him. It was pretty good for him too. But it's not us, and that's what we try to do. The gun went off. I don't want the gun to go off on his side. Like, I don't want that at all. That's gonna mean that the guy, the owner, dies, right? I don't want that. This is hard. Ooh, this is hard. The gun went off. What if we do it like this? Ooh. Okay. um. I don't want the gun to go off. On Carlos' side. What does please mean? I'm curious. Okay. Rocky soon finished the first 200 meters, but something didn't seem right. Yeah. Had he eaten something bad today? Let's go, Rocky! Go, go, go! I'll buy you ice cream! Now that I participated, I want us to win too. I couldn't help but start cheering Rocky on. Many of the people around me were cheering for him too. I never knew that participating in this kind of event could actually feel pretty great. Rocky suddenly sped up. He finally ran past class 2. With 2 meters left, he crossed the finish line first. Well done! We were happily hugging and shoving each other near the finish line. My stomach hurt a little. Can we do barbecue instead of ice cream? How would barbecue be better for your stomach over ice cream? You're funny. I pushed Rocky aside and caught a glimpse of someone. It was my crush. And she was looking at us. And she was smiling. Wow. I never knew I could get this kind of reward for participating in the meet. I felt so happy. So happy. Oh. Oh, that worked out. Well, okay. I just had to cheer him on. Nice. Okay. Well, Lee Wen, what you got going on right now? The last class of the day was art. I pushed open the door to the classroom and I was completely shocked by what I saw. What was happening? The room that usually held only a dozen people in it was now almost full. It was like a scene from a beach in the middle of summer. There wouldn't be enough easels for everyone. Just when I was wondering whether I should leave and go study, I saw Jing waving at me from the front row. Is Jing the man that we saw at the very beginning? I think that's him, right? Why are there so many people here today? Excuse me. Hold on, I just want to look at that. Yes. No, it's not. Who's Jing? Is Jing just a random guy that we haven't met before? Okay, I'm misremembering. Okay, we don't know who Jing is. I sat down in the seat Jing had saved for me. You really don't know anything, do you? Mrs. Liu is on the maternity. Mrs. Liu is on her return. Mrs. Liu is on her maternity leave, so we have a new substitute today. Somebody saw him earlier in the office and posted his pictures on the school BBS. He looks so handsome. Oh, is Gina? Well, not necessarily. G could be a guy, but it might be a girl. Jing might be a girl now that I think about it, though. I looked around, and only then did I realize that almost all the newcomers were girls. Why was Rocky here? What was a boy doing here? Okay, so I'm guessing Jing is a girl since she specifies that Rocky's the boy. I took my phone out and tried to log into BBS. I found myself unknowingly imagining what the new handsome teacher would look like while waiting for the page to load. Well-made pink shirt, rolled up sleeves, top button unbuttoned, pale flawless skin, impeccable face from the side. The Wi-Fi signal wasn't very strong. I couldn't look for a long time. Then, the front door of the room was slowly pushed open. With everyone staring at him, the new teacher slowly walked across the podium and softly wrote down his name on the blackboard. Okay, so this is Wen Jiaozhen. I'll be teaching the art class for seniors, starting today. I looked him up and down, and I noticed that this Mr. Wen was wearing flip-flops to class. His ensemble also included a pair of casual pants with the legs rolled up, a gray t-shirt, and a wrinkled jacket. Not just that, his chin suggested that he hadn't shaved for days. I turned to my side and whispered to Jing, "How is this old man handsome?" Jing ignored me. I mean, a little stubble could be handsome. I looked up and realized that the teacher was staring right at me. Oh no, he must have overheard me. Suddenly, Rocky raised his hand and asked loudly, "Mr. Wen, how old are you? And do you have a girlfriend?" The entire class erupted in a loud murmur. Everyone was staring at the teacher even more intensely. "Thank you, Rocky, for getting me out of trouble." Mr. Wen slowly took off his jacket and laid it on the back of the chair next to him. 35. The girls immediately began whispering to each other. His response certainly had intrigued everyone even more. Rocky, however, didn't seem to be satisfied with the answer. Mr. Wen ignored the commotion in the room and took a banana-shaped statue out of the accessory cabinet. People with an easel began to prepare the paper. The ones without one took out their sketching pads. The class was going to be over soon. Near the end of the class, Mr. Wen said he would like to pick an assistant from the class. Anybody who was interested could stand up and nominate him or herself. However, he would need to check his or her sketch. Jing stood up. How brave! Mr. Wen walked over, picked up the sketch. He shook his head and tore it into two halves. Rocky stood up from his seat. I stood up from my seat too. And the bell rang. That's so terrible. She was sobbing, and I was completely shook too. Not only did Mr. Wen tear up her sketch, he even said to her, "Are you serious? Did you seriously draw something like that? I would not tolerate this kind of thing in my class." What did she draw? We were just some regular high school students. We were not in art school. Are you serious? Rocky jumped in front of the teacher. I tried to stop him, but it was too late. Rocky punched Mr. Wen right in the face. Mr. Wen, however, didn't react, despite having just been hit by a student. He simply gave Rocky a glance and walked out of the room without saying a word. What did she draw? Rocky. He was always so self-righteous. The only thing important in his life might be his ball games. I bet if the bell had rung and the class had been over, he wouldn't have bothered and would have gone off to play basketball. After that, Mr. Wen never came back to class. Maybe someone filed a complaint about him. Or maybe... I always had the feeling that he didn't look like he wanted to be a teacher. The next art teacher always dressed impeccably well. He was also incredibly dull. Li Wen. Interesting that Wen Jiaozhen doesn't have a letter that we can edit from. How about we put these people? How about we have Jean be accompanied by other people to stand up, not in her defense after having her paper taken and torn, we'll have 3 people volunteer as an assistant like that. And then let's have Mr. Wen tear the sketch after class. And see how that is. Okay, well that's not what I thought would happen. Mr. Wen tore up Rocky's sketch and said, why don't you bring this to the class next time so everybody can practice with it? Rocky's face suddenly turned into the brightest red I'd ever seen. A minute ago he had been acting like the king of the world. What did he draw exactly? Ah! Oh. Ah! He punched Mr. Wen right in the face. Mr. Wen, however, didn't react despite just being hit by a student. He simply gave Rocky a glance, put down my sketch, and walked out of the room without saying a word. Since then, Mr. Wen never came back to class. Maybe somebody filed a complaint about him, or maybe... I always had a feeling that he didn't look like he wanted to be a teacher. The next art teacher had always dressed impeccably well. He was also incredibly dull. Okay, that didn't work. Mr. Wen tore up my sketch, and he even said to me, I will not tolerate this kind of thing in my class. Jim was frightened and she sat back down. I was in complete shock and my nose started to feel stuffy. Was that really necessary? You idiot! Oh, okay, Rocky's always the one who yells out, okay. You idiot! Rocky loudly cheered. That bastard! I made a face at him. Okay, that was bad. He doesn't punch him in the face though this time, which is interesting. How about the bell? Let's have the bell ring at the beginning, and then I guess we'll stand up from our seats to leave. Oops. Oh, that was bad. Oops. No, don't do that. Is this different? No, it's not. How was it originally? How about the bell rings after the sketch is torn? Actually, no, that might be the right answer because she said that Rocky might not even have cared if the bell had rung and he would have hurried out to play his games. So maybe if the bell rings right after that happens, he won't punch him in the face. Is that what's supposed to happen? Jean was sobbing and I was completely in shock too. Not only did Mr. Wen tear up her sketch, he even said to her, Are you serious? Did you seriously just draw something like that? I would not tolerate this kind of thing in my class. We were just some regular high school students. We were not in art school. Are you serious? Boring. Oh, boring. Rocky picked up his basketball from under his seat, casually walked out of the classroom and disappeared into the after-class crowd that was filling the hallway. Other people were leaving as well, while talking with each other about what had just happened. Nobody had ever mentioned picking an assistant ever again either. I walked with Jean onto the track field and told her dozens of jokes until she finally felt a little better. That old man, not only did he dress terribly, his temper was even worse. How could the school hire such a person to be a teacher? Rank A? Rank? Huh? Rank A? Hold on. Okay. What would it be if we stood up first? No, I mean it's the same thing. What have we not done yet? Huh. Hold on. What is the original? This is A, this is B. But they look very different. I don't know how I'm supposed to gather which one's the right one. Okay, let me just see how we not done yet. Then we'll just try everything now. Okay, so okay, so we put the bell rang either right after that or before that. Put the bell rang. We haven't done the bell ring. Wait, I'm pretty sure we've done the bell ring first. We haven't done that yet? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, hold on. Let's see. What's A? How about the bell rang? Like that. Oh, that's bad. Oops. That's B. Do I like dogs, cats, or both? I like both. If I had to choose one, I would say I'm a dog person. Dogs are my favorite animal, but I like cats too. I like cats a lot. They're really cute. If I ever were to get pets in the future, I would probably have both a cat and a dog if possible. But if I had to choose one, it would be a dog. Okay, we haven't got any new ones. That's B. That's bad. That's B. That's B. Oh, we haven't done this one yet? Okay, let's see. Jim was sobbing, and I was completely in shock too. Okay, I read this a bunch, so I'll just skip this part. Okay, so this time she gets angry. Seeing Jin cry like that, I couldn't control my anger. Mr. Wen, you are way out of line. You need to apologize to Jin. Jing. Mr. Wen gave me a glance and picked up my sketch. Boring. Rocky picked up his basketball from under his seat, casually walked out of the classroom and disappeared into the after class crowd that was filling the hallway. Other people were leaving as well. There were fewer and fewer people left in the room. I collected my stuff into my backpack, getting ready to leave. Have I ever heard the saying, count 100 sheep to sleep? Yes, I have. It's a very Classic saying. You, stay and clean up the room. What? I stopped what I was doing and looked at Mr. Wen in disbelief. He handed my sketch back to me. Oh, okay. Okay, so she's the assistant. Okay. After all, you're my assistant for this course now. He turned away and walked back to the front of the classroom. I then realized that everyone who was still in the room was staring at me. Everyone that looked like they were gawking at a circus monkey on the street. What the hell? I had no intention of being a freaking assistant to that guy. Jing put her arm around my shoulder. Congratulations! Let me buy you some dinner sometime, you poor kid. I burst out laughing. Well, whatever. Okay, well, there we go. So we had to stand up, and then the bell has to ring, and then Rocky leaves and doesn't punch him. Okay. That makes sense. Another Korean woman. Wonderful.
¿Por qué me pasan este tipo de cosas?
Okay, so this is just an aside story. Okay. Well, let's see who this new lady is. Okay, hold on. It's connected to him. Let me see what he said. He said something new this time.
Porque siempre me pasa esto.
Oh, he said that before already. Okay. Oh, it's a cute little boy. My name is Park Sang-kun. I'm 12 years old. I live in Korea. My home was on a hill. There were a lot of similar houses on that hill. And the one that was the highest was my home. There were good and bad things about living there. The good thing was, since our house was so high up, we got to be farther away from other houses, and so we had a big yard. However, I had to climb the stairs for over half an hour every day, just to go and buy my dad a bottle of vodka at the convenience store at the bottom of the hill. If I didn't go, my dad would get angry. He would beat me with his belt. Oh no! It wasn't just me either. He would also hit my mom too. I never understood why he would do that. I just wish that if we could figure it out, maybe Mom wouldn't have been beaten anymore. Dad was on road construction maintenance worker. He used to come home with mud all over his clothes. But for the past 2 months, he always came home clean. Sometimes, he would bring back some money and give it to Mom. Other times, though, he would take some money out of the pot where we kept our food money. Mum always worked very hard. She had to wash a lot of clothes and sheets during the day for other people. She said she was getting paid for washing them. I really wanted to help Mum, but I was too short. I couldn't even reach the pole where she hung the clothes and sheets to dry. Alex came by today. He lived on the hill too. Alex is Russian, just like Mum. Oh, he's half Russian. They both have blonde hair and blue eyes, just like me. The other kids who lived nearby didn't like me at all. They said I looked weird. Only Sumi from the bakery would play with me. She had once told me that she wanted to open a cake shop together with me. But I didn't like cakes. You didn't like cake? What the heck? Who don't like cake? You don't like cake? There was an ant nest near our yard. I was watching the ants carrying things into their nest. I bet they would have a very big home. Suddenly, it started raining. A large raindrop almost blocked the entrance to the nest. I went back inside to get an umbrella, and I came back and covered the nest. Mum and Alex were taking the sheets back inside. Then Dad came home. He was Korean. He had black hair and brown eyes. He was back earlier than usual today. I saw Alex there and kicked the umbrella away. Alex left. Mum went in the house with Dad. I followed them inside as well. Oh, God. Oh, goodness gracious. What type of voice want to give to this dad? Okay. You sly bitch! Dad slapped Mom on the face and pushed her to the floor. He took a rope out from the cabinet. The rope was wrapped around her neck and choked her. 5 minutes later, I grabbed my dad's arm with my whole body. I couldn't stop him. He was too strong for me. Dad kicked me in the stomach and shoved me off of him. I fell and crashed into the corner of the room. Bastard! Dad called me that word a lot. I used to ask Mom what it meant. She told me that it was just meant a bad child. I finally let it go. Mom collapsed onto the floor, but she didn't get back up. It was as if she had fallen asleep. I tried to shake her awake. I tried as hard as I could and shouted as loud as I could. She would not wake up. I heard the door open behind me, and I turned around. Dad had run out. I didn't know where he was going. I held onto Mom's arm and cried. Why? I'd always been a good child. God, please let Mom wake up. I promise I'll even be a better child. I promise I'll never be a bastard ever again. Park Sang-kun. No! This is so terrible. Goodness gracious. I've had enough. I've had enough of domestic abuse in my stories. I'm getting flashbacks to my to Link Click. I'm getting flashbacks to Link Click, and literally like a whole bunch of different anime and other things I've watched before. Like even I can't think of it right now, but I'm tired. Goodness gracious, I'm tired of it. I had been a member of Black Dragon for 2 months, but I was still yet to officially meet Mr. Lin. Mr. Lin was the second in command on the Black Dragon gang. We met once on the day of the fire of Pitt Street, 1999. 1999? 99. He was also the one who had me inducted into the gang. I thought I would be able to get some information about my sister once I joined the gang. But soon as I found out that everyone in my group, including our leader Mr. Kwan, knew nothing about her. As for Mr. Lin himself, he rarely ever came to number 99 in person. Still, there were some upsides from joining the gang. At least, I didn't have to worry about my room and board anymore. My Cantonese was also improving a lot. Okay, period. Besides, not everyone in the gang was as scary as one might expect from a gang member. Ren was one of the nice guys. I belonged to the group loyalty team. The group oversaw a loan business. So we were essentially the loan sharks in the gang. Now that I had become a member, I couldn't just coast along without doing anything. But I also didn't want to do wrong things. There we go. I had told Ren about my predicament during one of our conversations. Ren had told Mr. Kwan that he wanted to bring me along when he did debt collecting. Every time we went, Ren would whisk the kids of the families away first. Then I would tear apart their old clothes, spill some chicken blood on them, and mail the clothing to the debtors. Once we were sure that the debtors had received the bloody clothes, Ren would then make a phone call. Hey, you got the package, right? I'm giving you 3 days. If you don't want to have our money, if you still don't have our money, you'll be getting more than just clothes next time. He sounded like Uncle Wang, the big butcher at the street corner with a violent attitude. The afro on his head would bounce 3 times with a rhythm every time he yelled at the customers. As soon as he put down the phone, he would immediately turn into a preschool teacher and go play with our hostages who were wearing new clothes we had just bought them. Oh. I then would get scolded by Mr. Kwan every once in a while. He said Hong Kong was too small of a place. If everyone learned how the group loyalty handled business, it would be more and more difficult to collect money. But I never took it seriously. Ren knew that I'd come to Hong Kong to find my sister. Even though he couldn't help much, he'd always allow me to go out and look for her whenever there weren't any assignments. Every time Mr. Kwan asked about me, he'd also cover for me. Just like today, I had been out asking around the whole morning, but I still got nothing. When I got back to number 99, everyone in the group seemed to have a strange smirk on their faces. Ren said they were going to go and get a massage, and they had been waiting for me to come back so they can put me on watch duty. Yeah, I thought so. I was like, massage? I think that's like a euphemism for sex work. Yeah, I've heard that before. While on paper, sex work is technically prohibited in Hong Kong, it has nevertheless flourished on the island. Mong Kok, Prince Edward, and Yau Ma Tei are well-known red light districts in Hong Kong. In particular, Portland Street, which is located between Mong Kok and Prince Edward, is the most infamous one. It looked like a normal street during the day, but it turns into a different erotic site during the night. Storefronts with signs for massages, foot spa, and nightclub are sprinkled among residential buildings, providing all kinds of services for customers. There are girls from all over the world available, such as those from Taiwan, mainland China, Hong Kong, Russia, Japan. Furthermore, one could even choose based on one's preferences, including black stockings, model, flight attendant, and more, with costs in the range of 300 and 800 Hong Kong dollars. On the other hand, when the locals want to get a legitimate massage, they would typically choose to go to Shenzhen, which is far more economical there. I have to, if I ever do go to get a massage in one of these places, I have to make sure that I'm gonna get an actual massage. Oh goodness gracious! I wouldn't want to accidentally stumble upon something I personally don't want to be involved in. I laugh. Have you ever seen those ASMR videos on YouTube of those massages that you can get in like Korea, Japan? Seems really relaxed, and I would love to get one in the future. I like your curly hair, by the way. Yes, thank you very much. And I would prefer that you would not call me that, though, Master, please. But I appreciate the comment. Thank you so much. But yeah, I would prefer not to. It's okay. At least you asked me. I laugh knowingly. Yeah. I've seen a couple of those videos sometimes on YouTube recommended to me, so I've just clicked on them, just out of curiosity, and they seem like it'll be interesting and relaxing experience to experience in real life. I don't know who's saying this. Help yourself to the beer on the table. I paid for those. We're off. Oh. I almost forgot. There's someone in the room when Mr. Kwan had told us to keep an eye on. Don't let her get away. Then they left. A girl was tied to the chair in the corner of the room. Although there was a cloth stuffed into her mouth, she still seemed very pretty. She looked Asian, but she had dark skin like mine. Her eyes were thin and curly, like a pair of new moons. Her shining black hair draped down from her head like a dark waterfall, and she was wearing a purple short skirt. It looked like that skirt had been torn on its side. Well, if Mr. Kwan wanted her to be watched, then I should watch her. No need to think too much about it. I slapped my cheeks to keep myself alert. I raised the bottle. Then a rope snapped. I was reading the labels on Ben's beers when I heard the sound of a rope snapping. Before I could turn around, I felt a hand strike the back of my neck. I blacked out. I don't know how long had passed. A bucket of cold water was thrown on my face. I woke up with a shudder and opened my eyes. I saw Mr. Kwan standing right in front of me. Everybody was back in the room. They all had a terrible look on their faces. I looked at the corner of it again. The chair was still there, and there were two halves of a rope on the floor. The girl was gone. Oh crap. I had made a terrible mistake. Ren tossed the knife over to me and looked away. Seppuku? You had to kill yourself? Oh my goodness gracious. I had not been in the group for long, but I knew the rules. If I wanted to stay, I had to do this. Oh no, it's not seppuku. Okay, what's going on right now? Oh, okay. I bit my lip hard and cut off my left pinky finger. Half of the bloody finger dropped to the floor. Blood was still gushing out. It hurt like hell, but I was a man. I didn't make a sound. Who on earth was that girl? If only I had been more alert. Why did he cut off his own pinky finger? It's a ritual in the mafia and some gangs. If you make a mistake, you must cut off your own pinky finger. Some gangs might even make their new members cut it off before officially joining. What? That's so scary. Carlos. Well, we're gonna get your finger back, Carlos. Don't worry. Don't worry. I want to read that again. Okay. How about we do this? I'm not confident in this. I'm just gonna see how this plays out. I'm not confident in that one. The rope fell out of Dad's hands. He's about to pick it up when the doorbell rang. Dad then went to the yard. It sounded like Alex had brought some people over to intervene. He had once tried to do it by himself, but he was badly beaten by Dad and kicked out. He never dared to come back on his own since. When Dad returned from the door, he seemed to have forgotten all about what was going on. He just gave me a kick when he walked past me and went straight to bed. Mom sat on the ground and cried. I climbed over to her like I crawled over into her arms, just like I always did. Every time Dad lost his temper, we would huddle together like this. It was the only way we could make ourselves feel better. We were lucky enough to get through this time. But what about next time? How long do we have to keep living like this? I hate to be so scared all the time. I wished I never had a dad like him. I don't want to make you a murderer though. Like, I'm kind of thinking that if we give him the bottle, like I raise the bottle, we put that on his side, he might take it and hit his father. But given the fact that he's just a small boy, he might hit his father, but it might not kill him. He might just anger him and get hurt himself even more. So I'm like, I don't want to put you in that position. But if I had a chance to like completely remove this situation, I would. I don't know. Let's see. Mr. Quad had come back. He pulled up a chair in front of the girl and sat down. He began asking her some questions. The others had come back from the massage as well. We were all standing next to the wall, no one there to make a sound. From Mr. Kwan's questions, I learned that the girl's name was Ye. Ye? I think it's Ye. Mr. Kwan had only met her recently. Mr. Kwan had even bought her an apartment. Mr. Kwan was a tough man, but he had always been very gentle to women, and he had never slept around either. Therefore, I couldn't tolerate being betrayed by this woman. A few days ago, he had found that Ye had been hanging out with people from the blood gang. He began to suspect that she had been approaching him with other intentions. He decided to find out the truth. Mr. Kwan dumped a bucket of ice water on her head. The air conditioning had been set to max power, and at 16 degrees, that's the word, 16 degrees Celsius, and it was blowing directly at her. 16 degrees Celsius. Let's see. What does that mean? That means 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. That is pretty cold. Every time she will not answer a question, he will cut off some of her hair or slap her in the face. It was quite tough though. Her mouth had started bleeding. Almost all of her hair had been cut off, and she hadn't spoken once. When Mr. Kwan was tougher, he sent her in to fetch out a bottle of white flower oil. He twisted off the cap. Oh my gosh! Calm down! He forced Ye's eyes open and was about to drop it into her eyes. He was shaking uncontrollably, and tears were welling out of her eyes. She was finally broken. Mr. Kwan was right about everything. Ye was not just a member of the blood gang. She was also the niece of their big boss, Mr. Chang. But that wasn't what angered Kwan the most. Ye hadn't seduced him to infiltrate group loyalty for our loan business. She was only there to get closer to the other groups of the Black Dragon gang. She had only chosen Kwan because he was single, and therefore easier and more convenient to target for her. Blood gang had never cared about the loan business after all. Mr. Kwan was outraged, feeling incredibly insulted. Carlos! Oh wait, not Carlos. What was his accent? I gave him an accent. I can't remember what his accent was supposed to be. I don't remember. I'll just give you a new one. Carlos, take care of this bitch. Never let me see her again. Okay, well, he got a rank S, and he goes to rank A. Let's see how this is. I don't like it, but let's just see. Mr. Kwan came back. He looked inside the room, and a grim expression came over his face. Oops. Oopsie. You are dead now, Carlos. I quickly turned around. Oh my lord. Earlier, this girl seemed to be having a seizure. Her entire body was shaking and she kept hitting the wall with her head. I was afraid that she would hurt herself too much, so I adjusted the rope on her. But I didn't realize that the rope had become tighter and tighter while she was struggling, and that she couldn't even breathe. Now she was dead. Oh Lord, what have I done? I dropped down to my knees. I couldn't stop shaking. I didn't mean to do this! Carlos! A bullet flew out of Mr. Kwan's gun. It was firing toward me and I could see it getting closer and closer. Okay, I didn't mean for that to happen, but this is what I thought would happen after I gave him the bottle. Let's see how this turns out, though. I must stop, Dad. I climbed up on the table, smashed the vodka bottle into his head. He suddenly stopped and fell to the ground on his back. Something dark and red was coming out of Dad's head and onto the floor. Mum sat back up. Her face was pale, like a piece of paper. She got violently for a while and cried. I carefully climbed up off the table and ran into her arms, just like I always did. Every time Dad lost his temper, we would huddle together like this. It was the only way we could make ourselves feel better. I didn't know what Dad would do to us when we woke up. I wished I never had a dad like him. Right? Park Sung-kun's story is so sad. Why is his father so cruel? Why would someone kill his own wife? Thank God we could help him. Who knows? Maybe his father was mentally ill. Humans are easily stressed. Some people would ease their stress by exercising, overeating, or smashing things. Some people, however, became twisted. He was so young. If only I hadn't had a father like this. If he had never had a father, he wouldn't have existed. You're right. Does that mean I had a father too? You are a god, so of course not. Don't ever think it. Just get back to work. Okay, rank S, but then this is bad. Maybe it should be like that. Yeah, page sounds are nice. Page sounds. I love hand sounds in general at ASMR. Okay, maybe if the rope is choking after Quan comes back, then it won't be as bad. Okay. I had just sat back down when I heard Mr. Quan come back. He looked inside the room and a grim expression came over his face. This is how you watch someone? I quickly turned around. Oh my lord! Earlier the girl seemed to be having a seizure. Her entire body was shaking and she kept hitting the wall with her head. I was afraid she would hurt herself too much, so I adjusted the rope on her. But I didn't realize the rope had become tighter and tighter. She was struggling and she almost couldn't breathe. Thank God Mr. Kwan had come back early and noticed that. Otherwise I would have made an unforgivable mistake. Ren tossed the knife over to me and looked away. He starts to go, ugh. How do I fix this? I had not been in a group for long, but I knew the rules. If I wanted to stay, I had to do this. I beat my lip hard and cut off my left pinky finger. Half of the bloody finger dropped to the floor. Blood was still gushing out. It hurt like hell, but I was a man. I didn't make a sound. Who on earth was that girl? If only I had been more careful. Okay. Well, how about we do this? Oh, okay. That's all I need to. I was thinking that. That was one of my thoughts. My thought was to have the rope choke the mom, but then it snaps and it breaks, so that it doesn't actually it doesn't kill her. I thought about that. Okay, well, there we go. Oh, someone else is here. Okay, but anyway. Suffered from severe mental trauma due to prolonged exposure to domestic violence during childhood. Oh. Oh. I hate that. A new one. Okay. Is this an actual cat? Hold on. Is this an actual cat? Hold on. Oh my goodness gracious. It's an actual cat. Oh my gosh. Meow. Here's a deep voice. I was a stray kitten. Daddy called me Spotty. Daddy was like a daddy to me. He was like older homeless cats who had always taken care of me. Ever since he found me, he would always bring me back with him wherever he went. He had given me my name too. He had told me it was because of the yellow spots in my tail. Whenever we found some goodies, Daddy would let me have the first bite. I would stroke my head and he'd tell me, "Kiddo, help yourself. You're only 3 months old. You need more food when you grow up." I'd always liked Daddy the best. Today, Daddy was going to take me to the hill and catch some birdies, but it started raining heavily. Daddy said that because of the rain, the birds wouldn't come out for the sun bath today. So we had to go back to the street like yesterday and to go look for some goodies to eat. I hope we could find some more tasty chicken legs and fish steaks, meow. Unlike in the wild, there are many, many two-legged animals walking on the street. Daddy told me they're called humans. Because of the humans, the street was always very crowded all day and all night. Sometimes when we came back to a place where there were a lot of humans, a few female humans would excitedly meow at me. "What a cutie!" And if I let them touch my head with their paws, I could often get some goodies too. But Daddy had always warned me to keep my distance from them. Daddy said that humans are not to be trusted. Is Daddy a person or is I'm confused. I thought Daddy was like his owner. Daddy might be a cat. The street was just across the road. Hold on, let me go back and reread this. Well, I'll go back and look after it's done. The street was just across the road. I could see the shop with the fish sign from here, but we had to wait for the light to change. Daddy explained that the traffic laws in Korea are very strict. The fine is over $2,000. 2,000 maybe? 20,000, sorry. If we were caught, even if we turned in all our hidden dried fish treats, it wouldn't be enough. And there were many iron beasts running so fast in the streets. Daddy told me those beasts are made by humans and they're called cars. They're very fast. They're very dangerous, and we must be careful not to get hit. I don't think if a cat breaks the traffic laws, you will be fined and in jail. So we must obey the law, meow. The light finally turned green. I sprinted a little and went ahead. Daddy followed me slowly. He was a little odd and had just been injured before. He was a little old and had been injured before, so he couldn't see very well. A beast near us suddenly let out a huge roar of a bang, and a smoke came out from under it. Cats, do they have pointy ears and a long tail? Yes. And do they know how to watch the traffic lights? Yes. Do they know how to write letters too? Good question. Maybe they can write in their own language? We are gods, so we will always receive the translated version of their letters. That's fascinating. I wonder what the original letter looked like. The beast seemed to have suddenly become shorter and was charging directly towards Daddy, screeching and screaming. Okay, so I'm guessing Daddy's a cat too. But it was a green light, meow. The ground was covered with water, and it was very slippery. I heard it sound like a slip. I looked back. He had slipped. I ran over, trying to grab him. The beast ran over Daddy in an instant. He didn't stop until it was almost at the crossing. A human kid opened the door on the beast and ran towards me and Daddy. Please help, Daddy. I meowed at him for help, but the kid tripped just a few steps from us. I recognized him. Oh, it's him. His name was Park Sung-gun. He lived nearby. I'd often gotten goodies from him. He was a good kid. He would help Daddy for sure. I hope he's still like that. I hope he's still kind-hearted. Okay, good. I kept meowing louder and louder, and a few more adult humans in white coats followed him out of the beast. I thought they were all coming to help me and oh, I guess not. I thought they were all coming to help me and Daddy, but they stopped at where Sung-gun fell and pinned him to the ground. While they were trying to drag him away, I saw a big dark red scar on the back of his neck. I'd seen people in his home beat him. I didn't know he had been hurt so badly. Sang-gun was dragged away by white-coated humans and thrown inside the beast once again. And then the beast just ran away. What's going on right now? Is he being experimented on right now by other scientists? The whole time, nobody had even heard me meowing for help. I saw Daddy lying in his own blood. Oh, poor kitty. Oh, I saw Daddy lying in his own blood. I almost couldn't recognize him anymore. I cried. Please take Daddy to the hospital. Please, someone. The humans walked by, glanced at us, and kept walking. It's like they couldn't even see us or hear us anymore. Some humans covered their noses as if they had seen a dead rat. Oh my goodness. They were not like this before. They used to like touching our heads with their paws. Why? Why? Was Daddy right? Were humans really not to be trusted? God, please help Daddy. Spotty. Okay, well, we're back with our favorite police officer. I thought the lieutenant. I thought the lieutenant, yeah. I thought the lieutenant would recommend me for. I thought the lieutenant would commend me for resolving a crisis on my first day. Instead, I was scolded in front of the entire office. As soon as I got back from the scene, I was even told to write a discipline report. And it had to be at least 10,000 words long. I'd always hated writing. I'd rather run 10 laps on the field. So I decided to simply Google similar reports online without the lieutenant noticing. After lots of copying, pasting. After lots of copying, pasting, and rearranging, I finally completed a 10,000 word report. I don't know if that's gonna work. I felt exhausted afterwards, so I went to the bathroom to wash my face. I could still feel the impact of my organs after falling on the cushion. Fortunately, I was fit enough to endure it. A regular person would probably have to stay in the hospital for a few days. I looked in the mirror and saw the band-aid on my face. Gave myself a proud smile. I was just getting out of the bathroom when I witnessed something incredible with my own eyes. Lieutenant Kang was holding a folder in front of him. Even though his face was mostly hidden behind it, I could still clearly see his expression from where I was. The cigarette he had in his mouth was slightly twisted. Some watery stuff was coming out of his eyes. They were, without a doubt, tears. Is this really the eccentric dictator that I've been hearing about? And should I leave my room now? Should I? Officer Min Jun had left the office a while ago. The lieutenant must have thought that I had gone home too. If he saw that I was still in the office right now, he would kill me for seeing all. Would he kill me for seeing all that? I was still struggling with the most difficult decision of my history of mankind when Lieutenant Kang closed the folder. I quickly hid back into the bathroom, didn't come back out until I heard him walking out of the office wing. I looked around the office and noticed that I was alone. I couldn't help but start walking closer to Lieutenant Kang's desk without even realizing myself. The folder was still on the desk. It was a red folder. It was Archives of Criminal Investigation Unit 2 on its cover. Unit 2. I heard that a few years ago the entirety of Unit 2 had been killed in a violent incident. Afterwards, Unit 2 had become the only unit in Busan Police Criminal Investigation Department that had a designation but no members. Some people called it a ghost unit. Due to the severity of the case, no one in the station would talk about it, especially older officers who had been at the precinct when it happened. Why did Lieutenant Kang care so much about Unit 2? I lost some colleagues during the incident. Wait, why did I care? It had nothing to do with me, so I just mind my own business. I went back to my seat. I created a new document on my computer. I typed the title, Unit Transfer Request. But I couldn't think of another word afterwards. My brain was totally blank. It must have been worn out after writing that damn report today. I was straining my brain to figure out what to say next when a big hand slapped my shoulder. Yo, the new guy at Unit 4 is working hard. I wish my people could be half as diligent as you. Oh, it's as powerful as a booming bullhorn, so that's probably not the best voice to give him. The voice sounded as loud and powerful as a booming bullhorn. I almost jumped out of my skin when I suddenly heard it behind my back. I turned around. It was Lieutenant Kim Jong-ho of Unit 3. I stood up from the chair quickly and gave him a salute. He waved his hand. Okay, I'm gonna give a different voice because I don't like that one. Young man, no need to be so formal. Go take a bath in the spa. Don't work too hard. I checked the time. I didn't realize that it was almost 11 p.m. The spa room inside the precinct was even bigger than my apartment. It was incredibly clean. It would have been incredible to finish the day with a hot bath. I breathed in this theme, looking forward to a relaxing evening. Then I took off my clothes and stuffed them inside a locker. I closed the locker door and turned around. Lieutenant Kang was right there. He had just got undressed. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. I see a new comment. Hello, needs a better name. How are you doing today? I'm so glad to see you. Behind my back. He got undressed. He was in great shape with lean muscles all over his body. I don't want to calm down. I didn't want to admit it, but when he was not screaming at me, Lieutenant Kang was actually a rather handsome man, despite being a little disheveled. I used to hear a rumor that, despite his peculiar personality, he was still able to keep his position in no small part thanks to the solid support from the female police officers in the criminal investigation unit. I guess that made sense. I'd already witnessed the female officers in the other units smiling at Lieutenant in the hallway quite a few times on the first day alone. Why didn't anyone smile at me? Speaking of which, not only was Unit 4 a small team, it was also a sausage unit. I tune in and it turns into a gay erotica, right? We could use a little bit of BL. Oh my goodness. If only we had an awesome female officer in the unit as well. I hadn't talked to Lieutenant Kang after he yelled at me in that afternoon. And now we were standing in front of each other. Completely naked. This was not awkward at all. We got in and out of the hot tub after a spa session that seemed to last forever. Then we went back to the locker room. We put on our clothes and we were about to leave. We never said a word to each other the whole time. Sigh. I was hoping I could at least release some of the tension between us. May I write a letter to him? Why? I want to ask him. Oh my goodness gracious. What's this girl's name? I can't remember her name right now. But not the girl MC standing as a stand-in for the audience. Being a surrogate for the audience. I want to ask for a picture of his boss next time. You know, they gave us all these CGs. They got CGs of the death of the cat. They got CGs of Mr. Wen in the classroom and stuff like that. But they missed out on a perfect CG for the two of them standing together in the in the bathroom. That would have been a wonderful CG. Wow, we missed out. Oh well. I I suppose I was too naive. It's 3 a.m. where you are right now? Oh my goodness gracious. But YouTube at 3 a.m. does bring you to quite strange places. A piece of soap appeared out of nowhere and stopped near us. He reached out. I was taking my clothes out of my locker when I heard a noise. I turned around and saw what had just happened. My eyes involuntarily looked down. I looked back at myself, and then looked at the lieutenant again. This time our eyes met. I could see something menacing in his eyes. Oh my god! I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't even see anything. Okay, fine. I actually did see something, but I really didn't mean to. I was so screwed. Even if my requested transfer has been approved, I wouldn't be able to go out tomorrow. Maybe tonight, the lieutenant would just kill me. Please, Buddha. Please tell me, what should I do? What exactly did he see? Yeah, tell us. Tell us more about what you saw, sir. I'll be interested in that. What exactly did he see? I have no idea. Chang Youngmin. Now you think these strange places can stay hidden, but now you're invested. This game is very interesting, so I hope you stick around and see what happens. Okay. Let's see. Okay. A piece of soap appeared out of nowhere and stopped near us. I don't know how this would even be able to hold on. How would you even be able to transfer this outside of his story? Like, this doesn't make sense in the cat story. This is so weird. Why are these the pieces that we have to exchange? Okay, just out of curiosity's sake, I just want to see what happens if we just completely wholesale switch these and see what happens. I just imagine the lieutenant. Now I'm saying lieutenant. Goodness gracious, the lieutenant slips and falls, and then he goes out to reach. I just want to see what type of moment that would be. I'm just doing this out of my pure enjoyment, just out of pure pleasure. Entertainment. I mean, entertainment. That's the right word. Okay. Lieutenant Kang rolled his eyes at me and stood back up himself. He then got dressed and left the locker room. Oh. I froze and stood there like a statue. Did I just do something that I shouldn't have done? No. Or did I just forget to do something I should have done? Oh God. I have no idea which one it was. Oh boy. Was my career over? Okay. Rank B though. That was pretty good for just switching them like that. Okay. I wish they would have told me how the cat scene was like, because I want to know, what does it mean for the cats to just see a piece of soap appear out of nowhere? Okay, Okabe Flower. See you. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. This is hard. Hold. No. Oh, I see. I ran over to grab him, so the cat grabs Daddy. Then he reaches out. So I'm guessing that he manages to save him. Okay, that seems right. That makes sense. Okay, and then this one, the soap appears out of nowhere. The ground was slippery with water. I heard a sound like a slip. It looked back here. Slipped. A piece of soap appeared out of nowhere and stopped near us. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's see how this is. I think we were able to save the cat this way. Okay. I read that. Okay. I froze and stood there like a statue. If only I had reached out to grab him sooner. No. I should have gone and picked up that soap. Oh boy. Was my career over? Okay. Daddy jumped ahead just in time and the beast missed him. Lucky. The beast kept running with smoke coming out from under it and ran straight into the next crossing. It was another red light. I saw the beast hit another, smaller beast. The smaller beast was knocked off its path and then hit a third beast. Soon, the crossing was full of all kinds of beasts, each one of them barking loudly. Daddy and I turned away and kept walking toward the street. That was only B for both of them? Only B? I thought that was good. How do I stop a whole car crash from like happening from that? How do I do this? I ran over trying to grab him. What if we switch it like that? Maybe that would do a difference. This is hard. This is hard. Okay. What if we do that? Okay. The locker room was filled with steam that was drifting through the spa. That and the same awkwardness. We remained silent until we both left the locker room. I was hoping to relax myself, but I felt even more tense now. Rank C, and that was bad. Okay. How about we do this? Still B. No hints. Huh. Okay, let me see. A B, not even an A though. I'm so confused. Okay, how about if the soap appears between us? Like, what is that? Soap? I just want to know what is soap. How does soap manifest in the cat story? I'm curious. The round feet of the beast, not beast. The round feet of the beast happened to step on some soap. The beast suddenly turned on its side like it was drunk. Daddy jumped ahead and just in time. The beast missed him. Lucky. But the beast had run into the rails not too far ahead and finally stepped on some grass. Soon, Eamon walked out of the beast. He seemed to be okay and just started yelling while checking the beast's round feet. I looked at the beast. Why would there be well, why would there be soap in the middle of the road though? I'm so confused. How would there be soap in the middle of the road? And how would that knock a whole car off its track? If a car ran over some soap, would it flip a whole car off the rails? Like, I'm so confused. I looked at the beast. Its body had some words on it, but I couldn't read. But I'd seen the sign next to it before. I used to go hunting birdies with Daddy in a place far, far away. It was deep inside the mountains. On top of the hill, there was a building that smells like drugs. Daddy told me that it was a hospital, and it had the same sign as the one on the beast. I remember thinking that the hospital looked a little strange. The humans inside didn't look hurt at all to me, but none of them would smile. Oh, okay, so is that where Sangoon is right now? He's in a psychiatric hospital right now. Oh, I hate that. I hate that so much. Yeah, I guess he's in a psychiatric hospital. Right? A piece of soap would just flip a car. I don't get that. Some of them would burst into laughter, or tears all of a sudden. They all looked a little strange, not like the humans we met in the city. Humans were so strange. S? But then this is still a B? Hold on. So if the soap will flip the car over, excuse me. Maybe we'll do it like this. Since I don't need to worry about reaching for him, right? Like the cat doesn't need to worry about the cat doesn't need to worry about, I don't need to worry about reaching for the cat, since the soap will do the work to stop the car from hitting the cat. So I can put the reaching and grabbing on this side, so that will have Lieutenant Kang and Officer Chang catch each other. I pulled Lieutenant Kang up from the floor. Well, should I say something? Did that hurt, Lieutenant Kang? That didn't sound appropriate. I was still thinking when Lieutenant Kang swept away my hand. He mumbled something, then turned back to his locker and got dressed as if nothing had happened. I went back to my locker in silence too. What did the Lieutenant just say? I could see his face was all red, maybe because of the heat. Perhaps it was just saying something like, "Shit, this is so fucking hot in here." That must be it. An A though? Come on now. An A. An A. An A. Not an S. What would make this an S? Let's see. I'm so confused. What would make this an S? Okay, go back. We switched the order? No. Okay. If we do... It won't make any sense though. Okay, well, we'll just do this, but I don't know. Okay. The round feet of the beast happened to step on some soap. The beast suddenly turned to its side like it was drunk. Daddy jumped ahead just in time and the beast missed him. Lucky! The beast continued to charge ahead like a snake. Since the ground was so slippery, it tilted to one side and slid ahead very fast. Yeah, I finally stopped after it hit a lamp pole near the crossing. Okay, well this was. Now he died now. Goodness gracious. I saw a human kid fly out from the front of the beast and smash into the ground. He was lying there, not moving at all. The kid had yellow hair. He reminded me of a few foreign humans who lived nearby, but it's too far away. I couldn't see his face. I could only see the blood spreading out from beneath him. More and more people started to gather around. Daddy shook off the rain on him and quietly said to me, "Spotty, if I had been hit, the humans wouldn't care at all." I mumbled. I was still in shock. Daddy led me away from the accident and continued to the street. That was still an A though? Okay. No. We'll put in this bag. No, which one was it supposed to be? Like this. Does it? Come on now. If this is right, I'm gonna be upset. Hold on. This is right. This is right. Oh my goodness gracious. So I don't have I established the fact that the ground was slippery. Then I have him okay, so so the way I had it beforehand was I established the fact that the ground was slippery. Then I have him here, Lieutenant Kang, slipping on the floor, and then he reaches out. Then Chang goes to grab him, and then Kang reaches out. They wanted me to have the Lieutenant Kang slip, and then establish that the ground was slippery, so that will have the police officer Chang slip with him and fall to the ground together. Oh my goodness gracious. I grabbed Lieutenant Kang and tried to pull him up, but I slipped and fell too. We had to go back to the hot tub and we had to go back to the hot tub and take another bath to clean ourselves. The water was still very warm, but I was already used to the temperature after the first time. Lieutenant Kang was wrapped in his towel around his neck again. He didn't close his eyes this time though. He just seemed to be staring blankly ahead. It was only the two of us in the spa room. It was so quiet again. Nothing else was in the air except the steam from the water and the awkwardness. Maybe it was just my imagination, but Lieutenant Kang almost looked like a normal, accessible person for a while. I was almost going to ask him something, but eventually I decided to let it go. It was already after work. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it. Oh my gosh. Okay, we finally did it. Too much slipping and sliding. Well, I think we're over the slipping and sliding now. I think we got that sorted out. Oh, he's so cute. I love him so much. Noble, stray cat from Korea. He is so cute. I love him so much. He's so cute. Okay, we got some more letters.
Carlos, te extraño.
And also, there was some more letters that we hadn't addressed yet. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm Li Wen, a senior at Yingdan High School. Today, the new art teacher assigned me as his assistant for the class, so I had to stay after class and help clean up the classroom and help clean up the art classroom. I tried sneaking a few peeks at the strange teacher while I was reluctantly mopping the floor. He was looking over the sketches that had been left in the room one by one, and then throwing them in the trash. It was just the two of us in the room. Neither of us were talking. Hey, W. How was your first day? Oh, it was a girl. Oops. Hey, W. How was your first day? It was my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Yang, who burst into the room and broke the silence. She said hello to me and held onto Mr. Wen's arm like a little girl. Was that a dude doing a cat impression? I think so. I think that it was a human voice actor. I think it's supposed to be a cat, you know, but yeah, it sounded like a man. But I think that just adds to the charm, in my opinion. According to what I heard from Mr. Jing, Mr. Wen and Mrs. Yang went way back. It was also Mrs. Yang who had recommended Mr. Wen for the newly vacant teaching position. The beautiful Mrs. Yang was said to be notoriously hard to get. Many male teachers in the school had allegedly been turned down by her. Was she involved with Mr. Wen? I'm confused a little bit though. Does she not remember at all that Mr. Wen was the man whose apartment that she went into when she was trying to hide? I can't remember how we ended that story. Did we end the story with her having... Yeah, we did. She went into his apartment. He came out of his room after trying to commit suicide. And then he let her sleep on his couch, I believe. After he opened the windows, I believe. So I'm guessing maybe she doesn't remember. Maybe she never saw him when she went inside, but he remembers her. Okay, that makes sense now. So like, how come she's acting like she's never seen him before? Because she probably hasn't. It's probably only the other way around. Mr. Wen's seen her before, but not him. Not her seeing him. Not she seeing him. I grabbed the trash can and deliberately left the room. When I got back, there was no one there anymore. Someone appeared to have already replaced the barrel for the water dispenser too. It seemed like I could finally go home. Yay! It was starting to get dark when I finally finished the cleaning in the classroom. I walked out of the school gate and noticed that Mr. Wen was walking not too far in front of me, going in the same direction. That was strange. I thought he left a little while ago. I didn't want to talk to him, so I stayed behind a distance, quietly watching his back. Such a bad-tempered and terribly dressed man. How did he become a teacher again? Before I knew it, Mr. Wen had walked into the dark alley that led to my place. However, as soon as I stepped into the alley myself, I suddenly felt that something was wrong, and I immediately backed out. Mr. Wen had been stopped by two men, one in front of him and the other behind him. The one facing my direction was wearing a tank top. It had flashed a pocket knife in Mr. Wen's face. I hid behind the corner and tried to peek around it. Mr. Wen took out his wallet and handed it over without any resistance. That was smart, I thought. Better safe than sorry. The tank top guy fiddled with the wallet for a while, then slammed it into the ground. 20? You think I'm a fucking beggar? He punched Mr. Wen in the face. Mr. Wen stumbled back and bumped into the guy behind him. He was still not resisting. The tank top guy placed the knife on Mr. Wen's face. Be smart and give me all your money! Judging from the look on his face, maybe the 20 yuan was all Mr. Wen had. We were too far away from the main street, and there was no one else around who could help. I suddenly had an idea. I took my racket out of my bag and grabbed the tennis ball. This was the time to test the results of my nightly practices. Ball toss. Backswing. Place at the target, please. The ball was flying at the speed of 180,000 kilometers an hour. A gust of wind suddenly swept by. The ball was blown off its path by the wind and missed the target. Instead, it hit the back of Mr. Wen's head. Mr. Wen fell down into the ground and with a thud like a brick. The two men noticed me, and they seemed to be just as shocked as me. Oh, God. Girl. They must have thought I wanted to kill the man lying on the ground for some reason. The tank top guy took one step towards me. I began to picture how they would force me into the corner, pull a chainsaw from behind them, and cut me to pieces. Girl, you've been watching too many you've been watching too much drama, too many dramas. Oh no, I couldn't stay there any longer. Like too many horror movies and stuff like that. No one's carrying around a chainsaw like that. I'm sorry, Mr. Wen. I screamed silently in my head and ran away with my hands covering my face, leaving Mr. Wen there by himself. And if they did have a chainsaw, wouldn't you see it? Like, wouldn't you see that they had a chainsaw behind them? It wouldn't be too hard to hide. The next day, Mr. Wen did not come to class. The school put out an announcement saying that he had been badly injured in a robbery, and that he was in a coma at the hospital. The announcement also reminded the students to be careful on their way back home. It was all my fault. I should not have left him alone. There must have been a better way. Li Wen. My name is Jimmy. I'm a transfer student. I arrived in Beijing not too long ago, and now I'm a senior at Yingnan High School. The reason I chose the school was because I had a serious crush on a girl here. Just a few days ago, I was fortunate enough to be her partner in a doubles tennis match on my first day at school. At first, I was so thankful that I thought the goddess I finally smiled upon me. And I was totally embarrassed because I never even played tennis before. After that happened, I made up my mind. I was determined to improve my tennis skills, just in case I had another chance like this. I adjusted the serve speed of the ball machine, walked back to the baseline, raised my racket, and got ready. In order to get better, I bought a season membership at a club. I haven't finished watching all 100. Excuse me. All 178 episodes of the Kid of Tennis anime. I have complete faith in myself. I believe I can make it work this time. Next time, I got to play with her. I could show off my quick swerve, my pickup volleys, my drive D, even my zero style slices to her. And she would look at me with admiration. The ball machine shot the ball out with a pong. The ball was flying at 140 kilometers per hour. What a sneaky machine! How dare it serve the ball when I wasn't paying attention? Oh gosh, my wrist really hurts. The doctor said I had hurt my tendon. I need to rest my hand for at least a month. He said I should not even use a mouse, not to mention playing tennis. No! Doctor, I want to play! My dear goddess of fortune, if you can hear me, please heal my wrist. If it's necessary, I'll even swear off video games for a month as a sacrifice to you. Please! Jimmy. Well, let's... Oh gosh, another one of these restricted passages. In this letter, there's a conflict special restriction, which we talked about before. For instance, in these two letters, the two pieces 140 kilometers and 800 kilometers are in conflict with each other. That means they cannot be moved to the same side. If you try to do so, they will automatically switch places with each other. Both pieces are labeled with a double-headed arrow, which stands for the conflict. This one is much easier to understand, isn't it? Don't worry, you'll get used to all of these red signs eventually. Okay then, I'll try my best to remember them. Okay, well... Let's see how this is. I mean, I don't really know how much the speed difference will make, but... Before I realized it, the ball hit me right in the forehead. It was so fast that I was sure it would cause serious damage if I hit someone. It'd be worse if I hit someone, and it'd be worse if it hit someone in the head. In any case, I don't remember anything afterwards. They told me that someone else practicing at the court had called an ambulance for me. There are good people in this world, I suppose. Or it must be because I had been such a great person every day. That must be what they call good karma. Okay. The ball was blown off his path by the wind and fell softly to the ground. Mr. Wen noticed me. So did the two robbers. The tank top guy took one step towards me. I began to picture how they would force me into a corner, pull a chainsaw from behind them, and cut me into pieces. Oh no, I couldn't stay here for any longer. Mr. Wen, you can fight them! I screamed silently in my head, and ran away with my hands covering my face, leaving Mr. Wen there by himself. The next day, Mr. Wen came back to school. He didn't seem hurt either. Although I couldn't imagine how he had gotten away, I was really happy that everything was okay. However, I didn't have the courage to go back to the art class anymore. I think I got the idea. I think this needs to go on this side too. So that this ball hits the intended target, and that so this gust of wind blows the ball away from him, not hitting him in the forehead. I think that would make sense. Yeah, because he got hit in the forehead and had to go to the hospital. I shuddered a little. Before I realized it, the ball was already right in front of me. I was so startled that I had to awkwardly block the ball with a racket, and I happened to hit the ball. The ball was too quick, and it bounced off high up in the air. It was a perfect parabola. And it hit an old man who was practicing nearby. Uh-oh. He ran over to me angrily and started yelling. I kept bowing and apologizing. I was nodding like a pecking hen. People in the real world are so scary. The ball hit the forehead of the tank top guy exactly as I wanted, but it bounced off and fell softly to the ground. The guy tumbled and fell to the ground. Before the second man realized what happened, I sprinted towards his back as fast as I could. I smashed his head with my racket with all my strength. Then, I grabbed Mr. Wen's hand and ran towards the end of the alley. But I didn't see that the first guy had already stood back up. It felt like Mr. Wen had let go of my hand and thrown his entire body onto my back. And then I felt him slowly collapsing to the ground. Huh? I turned around, and Mr. Wen was lying on the ground unconscious. There was a pool of blood. It was getting larger and larger. Mr. Wen had to be hospitalized afterwards. And since he couldn't teach for a long time, he lost his job as well. Uh-oh. Okay, so maybe it should be a faster speed so it knocks him out fully. Yeah, I think that's good. This seems like... I think the music tells you when it's the right answer. I shuddered a little. Before I realized the ball was already right in front of me. I was so startled that I had to awkwardly block the ball with the racket. And I accidentally hit the sweet spot. It actually felt really great. Wait, had I just hit it? Yes, I had! I just hit an underspin shot. Underspin. A technique in tennis where the ball is hit by slicing downwards at a contact point, forcing it to have a backspin and rotation. Usually falls slower than a flat shot or topspin shot. The advantage is that the ball will bounce in a backward direction once it hits the court, which could cause the opponent to whiff. What does it mean to whiff? Let me look it up. Whiff. Whiff means to strike out. Can mean to strike out. Or means to exhale a puff of air. It might mean to strike out in this sense. Okay. Cause the opponent to whiff if not properly timed. However, a backspin is usually too slow, so the trajectory goes too high. Could also easily go out or get volleyed. An ideal backspin should have very low clearance of the net to stay low and flat. Experienced players would often sneak in a backspin after a series of topspin or flat shots to disrupt the opponent's rhythm. Oh wow! I had learned how to hit an underspin shot. Bonsai! Bonsai! I jumped up and down with excitement. People were shooting me, admiring strange looks. What does bonsai mean? Was he hurt? No, bonsai is a Japanese phrase. It means hooray. Although, based on my observations, lots of people outside of Japan use this word as well. They are from many different countries, and most of them are men. Oh, they also share another common characteristic. What is that? They're all single. Single? What's wrong with being single? Everything. Being single hurts. In the end, bonsai still means hurt, right? See? Bonsai means being single. Being single means it hurts. That is very straightforward. I think I'm single too. Bonsai. I'll have you know I am happily single. I am not hurt. The ball hit the forehead of the tank top guy exactly as planned. He fell down to the ground, but it felt like a brick. Before the second man realized what had happened, I sprinted towards his back as fast as I could. I smashed his head with my racket with all my strength. Then I grabbed Mr. Wen's hand and ran towards the end of the alley. 10 minutes later, I was panting heavily, and I realized I'd already run all the way back to my apartment building. Oh, and I was still holding Mr. Wen's hand. Mr. Wen, excuse me. This is where I live. I quickly let go of his hand. A home visit, huh? Well, I might as well do a home visit then, shall we? Oh, wait. Well, I might as well do a home visit then, shall we? A home visit? For a senior? By an art teacher? Mr. Wen, actually, there was no one else home. I walked in front of him and explained. Do your parents always work late? Mr. Wen looked up at me while climbing the stairs. The sunlight coming through the windows in the hallway were making him squint. No, I live alone. I stopped in front of room 413, but Mr. Wen didn't follow me. He stopped in front of room 414. He pointed to the door next to him with his thumb and smiled. I suddenly remembered. The first day after I moved in, the manager uncle's son had told me that a very famous artist from abroad had been living in the apartment next door. So that was him. We actually met each other before. Okay, so she does remember now. Nice. Nice. Happy ending. Okay, so we're gonna do. Let's see. Is this connected to anything? Yes. Okay, we'll do this pair, and then we will call it for today. Little Lamb Billy. Nice to see you again, Alicia. We haven't heard from you in a while. Hong Kong was a strange city. It was quite small, but it felt like a big city. While I was busy and rich, there were many poor people, including numerous homeless people wandering the streets. I had hoped to go to America, but I ended up kidnapped and brought to Hong Kong. I didn't have any money on me. I didn't know if I could even survive here, not to mention go to America. I began to look for hiring flyers on the walls. Teamsters, engineers, masseurs. A lot of places are hiring, but I didn't know what to do with any of the jobs. But one day, I saw that there was a nightclub looking for a pop singer. The club was called Melody Hall. I sat in the middle of the most popular location on Portland Street in Mongkok. The club was huge. and the guests were all dressed like royalty. Everyone had come to audition for the job. Everyone that had come to audition for the job was sitting in the lobby, waiting for their turn. Several middle-aged men were sitting below the stage, looking terribly bored. Oh, she's so pretty. She looks so sweet singing. I chose to sing one of my favorite songs when it was my turn. It was a folk song from my hometown. It was called Little Lamb Billy. After my parents had passed away, my brother and I were soon sent to an orphanage. For a long time, after Carlos seemed to have shut down entirely, he could sit there for an entire day without saying a single word. He was only 3. There was nothing near the orphanage but hills and mountains. I liked to take him hiking and would talk to him on top of the mountain or sing to him. We would stay there for a whole day sometimes. However, he still wasn't talking. One day, when I was singing, I suddenly thought to myself, was this going to last forever? Would Carlos never talk to me again? I had to stop the song. I couldn't stop myself from thinking depressing thoughts. I cried. Who knows the name? Who is this? Is this Carlos? Okay, I'm gonna assume it's Carlos for right now. Why are you crying, Alicia? Oh, Carlos was pulling on my arm. I saw him looking with me with his clear eyes. That day. Oh, this is the past. Oops, this is still the past. I thought she was crying right now. She was singing this in the club. Okay, this is still the past. Like, oh, they reunited like that? Oh, never mind. That day, he had returned to me fully. He had finally returned to me. The song I had been singing that day was Little Lamb Billy. I stood in front of the elevator. I was thinking about the song that I just sang and the days when we had lived in the orphanage. I couldn't help but hum the song again. I felt a sudden tap on my shoulder. It was one of the men who had been sitting below the stage earlier. Miss, there's something you should know. His eyes were almost shut as he smiled at me. It's quite a hassle to hire a foreigner like you who has no papers. You want me to find another job in all of Hong Kong. However, I think you are really terrific. I would love to hire you, as long as you... Please no. Please no. Please no. Please no. As he was speaking, his hand was moving down my shoulder along my back, and it kept moving down even further. I was taken aback and trying to move away, but he grabbed my wrist. I had never been in a situation like this in my entire life. I was horrified. I tried to shake him off with all my strength. I scratched his face with my nails, leaving a red mark. He felt his face with his hand as I was running away. You ungrateful little bitch! You people! Go grab her! I ran into a small alley and hid in a dumpster. After what seemed like an eternity, I could no longer hear the people who were running after me. I fell to the ground. I felt violated and ashamed. Tears were rushing out of my eyes, as if all my suffering had come back to haunt me. Carlos, I miss you so much. Alicia. Ugh, that's so disgusting. I have been assigned here for a week. For the past few days, I've been trying to find an opportunity to write my transfer application and submit it to Lieutenant Kang. Yet, every time when I sat down and tried to fill out the form, Lieutenant Kang would throw a bunch of paperwork at me and make me file them. It was almost like he knew what I was up to. None of this made any sense. Any sense at all. As a police officer, shouldn't I be patrolling the city to stop crimes and helping people with everything I had? Even be ready to sacrifice myself for the justice at a moment's notice? But this is so boring. Thank God I could still chat with Officer Min Jun, a more senior officer in Unit 4, when I've been exploded out of boredom by now. Usually at this point, Min Jun would say, "I'll lend you a grenade then." Min Jun liked making these kinds of morbid firearm jokes, even though I really found them funny. Life sucked. I poured myself another glass and chugged it. I was at a bar called Crash. I was at a bar called Crash, where I would always come whenever I was feeling down. Every day after midnight, the bar would turn to a carnival. But around sunset, the atmosphere here was actually really nice. It was the best time to come around and drink alone. I was sitting by the window and staring at the street blankly. Some words in the conversation at the next table suddenly caught my attention. A bald man in a Hawaiian shirt raised his bottle and said, "Bro, have you heard about what happened to Group Gangmun a few days ago?" His buddy, who was wearing a pair of beach shorts and sporting the most ridiculous hairstyle, laughed. "Of course! I've heard all about your group, Yusung. That was really brutal for them to blow half the head off of Choi Yohan's son. Only Kagbei Ya has the balls to do that." Oh, uh-oh. My ears perked up when I heard Lieutenant Kang's name out of the blue like that. The bald man continued. "I think it was pretty rad. That bastard was so fucking annoying. He will come into our turf all the time looking for trouble just because of his good old daddy." The crazy-haired guy interrupted him. "Shut the fuck up, you idiot. Don't let anyone hear you say that. You're gonna get bossed you into trouble." The bald man immediately concurred. "Oh, sure. By the way, I also heard that Choi Yohan is setting up a trap for Kambak Ya. It's going to be epic." The crazy-haired guy sounded surprised. "Hey, watch it. Don't get so close to me." "Wait, what did you mean by setting up a trap?" The bald man explained. "I heard that they had something on Kang Bek Ya, and they'll use it to force him to turn himself over. You can guess what they're going to do to him next. I think it's supposed to be going down tonight over at the warehouse by the port." The crazy-haired guy didn't seem like he was buying it. "Really? You think that would work? Kang is so tough enough to take out a whole team on his own." The bald man got excited. "We'll find out. Apparently, they've prepared barrels and concrete, and I even heard something about another big surprise. Anyway, no matter what side loses, our boss Jew would be happier either way. I bet he's been looking forward to this day for a long time." I sobered up completely. I quickly checked my cell phone. It was 9 p.m. Now that I thought about it, Lieutenant Kang had gone to delivery earlier that day, and he left the office soon afterwards. Did the delivery have anything to do with that trap? I knew I didn't quite get along with Lieutenant Kang, but no matter what, he was on the side of justice. Now that I knew he was in danger, there was no way I could just sit aside and let it happen. I sneaked in the bathroom and immediately called the lieutenant. Nobody picked up. I then called the police station. Somebody told me that nobody from Unit 4 was available. I had a really bad feeling. If I didn't get in touch with the lieutenant as soon as possible. The door opened and a person walked out. My reaction had been slowed down because of the alcohol. The young man who had just come from the store grabbed me by the hair and slammed me into the mirror above the sinks. Clink! The mirror smashed, and there were broken glass all over the ground. Just before I passed out, I heard someone say, "You dirty cop. Are you trying to snitch on our own turf? Screw you!" When I woke up, I found myself lying in a big, empty warehouse. The gate was locked from the outside. I could see evening stars through the windows high on the wall. Oh man, how long had I been out for? Was Lieutenant Kang already at the port? Chang Youngmin. Uh-oh. Oh. let's. I mean, I don't want him to get into contact with anyone. So let's put both of them on that side. And see how that is. He was one of the men who had been sitting below the stage earlier. Is this the same? Yeah. Yep. Same disgusting self. Okay. As he was speaking, his hand was moving from my shoulder along my back, and it kept moving down even further. I looked to the lobby, but I could no longer see the person who had just come out of the elevator. No one could help me now. I was taken aback and tried to move away, but he grabbed my wrist. I had never been in a situation like this in my entire life. I was horrified. I tried to shake him off with all my strength. I scratched his face with my nails, leaving a red mark. He felt his face with his hand as I ran away. You ungrateful little bitch! You people! Go grab her! I ran to a small alley and hid behind a dumpster. After what seemed like an eternity, I could no longer hear people who were running after me. I fell to the ground. I felt violated and ashamed. Tears were rushing out of my eyes, as if all my suffering had come back to haunt me. Carlos, I miss you so much. I checked the time again. It was already 9:30 p.m. It wasn't safe to go straight to the port, as I didn't know how many people the enemy had. I hadn't received my weapon yet, and as this was only my first week, it wouldn't be terribly useful for me personally, but it would be still better than nothing. I should at least go back to the station and check out a gun. Perhaps I could even find some backup. I hope that I can make it in time. I left the bar. A cold breeze blew over my face. I shuddered and felt myself sobering up a little more. I hailed a cab. I kept urging the driver to speed up. In the end, it took me 30 minutes to arrive rather than the usual 60. Ugh. As soon as I opened the door, I threw up all over the ground. The old driver looked at me emotionlessly and handed me a bill and a napkin. I just ran through 3 red lights for you. I'll give you a discount for being a police officer. Okay, well that was rank S, but... Let's see if we switch the order. That would be better. Okay. You ungrateful little bitch. You... I don't know who this is though. Hey, that was Hey, that was... Hey, I don't know who this is. Hey, that was embarrassing. Hey, that was embarrassing. Someone had just got out of the elevator stood in front of me. A pair of red high heels. A pair of tight black leather pants. A lavish fur coat. If it weren't for the voice, no one would have even guessed that was a man wearing them if they had saw them from behind. Ooh, period, sir. For the manager of Melody Hall to do something like this in public, what would your big boss say? Have you heard about this? Fine. Just not my lucky day then. The manager shot me a stern look, then turned around and walked back to the lobby. The cross-dressing man turned to me, smiling wildly. Hello, pretty little girl. Would you like to go get a drink at my place? Okay. Nice. She made a friend. Oh, we got a story. Okay. Okay, we'll stop after the story. section ends. Deep breaths. You ask me how deeply I love you. What on earth are you doing? I'm singing. Oh. Huh? I didn't know you sang. What's the name of the song? The moon represents my heart. How does she still know this song? I thought she had... What are you mumbling about? I mean, of course. This song, everyone in China knows this song. What is he hiding? You hiding something, mister. She's supposed to have lost her memories, but she still remembers that song, and you won't tell her that that's strange. Why are you suddenly in the mood to sing? When I read Alicia's story about her singing, all of a sudden a lot of music just popped in my head out of nowhere. So I was thinking, maybe I was a singer before I died. Before you died? I heard stories of how some people become gods when they die, whatever their wishes. That must be why I know these songs, right? Aren't those usually ghost stories, not god stories? Although, if that had been the case, would my power have something to do with singing? What do you mean? For example, what if my singing has healing powers? Or maybe my song can bring peace to people at war? How unimaginative. We have been alive for a long time. There's nothing strange about us knowing some songs. Gods are supposed to know everything. If it weren't for your memory loss, I'm sure you would remember even more. Well, that makes sense. I guess I was never a singer. Now I feel sad. I didn't know you wanted to be a singer so much. Look, I made you some osmanthus cake. Wow! Nothing's more powerful than sweets. Enjoy the cake. Remember to do your work after you finish your snack. I'll see you later. Wait, I've heard you sing it. Before you go, sing me something. I will not. You're my servant. You can't say no tomorrow, Gwen. No. As your servant, it's my duty to supervise your work, and saying no to you is one of my rights. Well then, what if I serve you some tea? I made the tea. How to wash your feet? I just washed them myself. Well, would you like me to comb your hair? Oh my goodness. What would you like to hear? Name it. Your face almost looks twisted. Well, let me think. How about I only care about you? Is Teresa Tang a real person? Let me look it up. Teresa Tang. Oh, she is. She is a Taiwanese singer, actress, musician, and philanthropist. Referred to by some as the eternal queen of Asian pop, she is considered one of the most successful and influential Asian popular singers of all time. She was born in January 29th, 1953, and died May 8th, 1995 at only 42 years old. That's so sad. Interesting. I didn't know about her. I might have to listen to some of her music. Why don't you pick something that's more exciting, more hardcore? To be fair, you've liked her music ever since you were little. Since I was little? Oh, no, I mean, you've always liked her music. Anyway, I happen to know this one. Listen up. I'm gonna sing now. Ever since she was little, sir, I don't know if she's been a god all her life. You keep saying that she's eternal, she's always been a god, but it seems like that something else is going on that you're just not telling. If I never met you, where would I be? My darling, can you hear me? Please don't leave me without you nearby. I would no longer feel in love in the slightest. I don't even know how the song is supposed to go. What do you think? I've been curious. Why is it that the only sound we make when we talk is a single beep? Even the tone is the same. Oh, I love how self-aware they are. Boop, 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 boop. That's actually the sound that they're making in real life. That's so funny. Even when we're singing, it was nothing more than some rhythmic beeping. Boop, 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 boop. I never noticed that there was a difference in the beeps. He has a lower pitch than her. I didn't realize it until just now. I didn't know that the beep was supposed to actually represent their speech. You are only now noticing that? Well, we are gods after all, not humans. We have our own unique qualities. We should focus on them. Speaking of which, how's work been recently? I cannot unhear it now. I can't unhear it. I'm gonna keep the difference in the tone, the difference in the pitch of their beeps is gonna be stuck in my head. Oh, it's been going pretty well. My only complaint is that there are so many letters. I've been pulling a lot of all-nighters to finish them. You don't have to work that hard. We are not on the same timeline as the humans. It doesn't really matter to them when we handle their letters. The most important thing about being a god is to enjoy yourself. That's okay. I am enjoying myself. It feels so great to be able to help people. I'm really happy. Okay then, as long as you're happy. Oh, by the way, have we forgotten about something important? What? Important thing? Cone? Ah, that new letter's here. We need to start working. Knew it. Aw, give the poor dog a comb. Give the poor dog a nice combing. He deserves it. We finally get to see her. She's so pretty. I love her. You know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of Esmeralda. Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame. She's so pretty. We finally get to see her. Okay. Well, let's see how long we've been streaming for. It's been 3 hours, so that was a fun 3 hours. I'm really getting into these people's stories and these people's lives. I want Park Sang-kun to. I hope his story goes better than what we've seen so far. It seems like he's been put in a mental institution, a psychiatric ward. That's so terrible. I mean, it seems like everyone else's story seems to be going. Everyone else seems to be going pretty well so far. Like even Alicia, who got trafficked from Mexico to Hong Kong, even she's like doing pretty well. It seems like it's looking up for her. Her future's looking up. But Park Sang-kun, he only has one story, by the way, though. Right now that we've read, I hope things look up for him. What happened to his mama, though? Anyway. Wednesday we'll be back to continue with Yeonho and Nameless. Our beautiful, cute yandere boy from Nameless, the one thing you must recall. And on Friday we'll be back to do probably be back to play some of My Sims Kingdom. I might take the time off to focus on doing my final papers for school because I have 2 papers due next Sunday, and then I have another paper due a couple days after that. So I might take Friday and maybe the next Sunday off to do them. But I think I'm gonna stream again on Wednesday to do Nameless. But yeah, that's my plan so far. Yeah, school is important. Unfortunately, it has to take priority. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to probably do that. But yeah, thank y'all very kindly for coming. Much obliged as always. It's nice to meet you. Needs a better name if you're still in here. Happy to meet. I'm glad to have met you. So yeah. I'll see y'all later. Y'all come back now. You heard me. Have a good night.